$3 million. I think it's a good feeling to have the money in the bank in case trouble does come.
I think I'd rather look at lowering the rate going forward than to refund taxes.
I like the rainy day fund of having the general fund. I also think we're giving back to our residents by providing them these great services and also these great businesses that they're able to go and enjoy while they're living here and experiencing Cramerton.
I think I would be for giving it back to our citizens. If there's no way that we can lower the tax rate, then, or if there's a problem in the budget that we can't lower it and we have that excess fund, I think it should be given back as a lower tax rate to the citizens.
As a financial conservative, I would always love to have a lower tax rate. I don't think that's something that's possible right now. But if we can diversify our tax base, have smart growth, that's absolutely possible in the future. And we're going to always work to provide the highest quality of services at the lowest price to you.
I know where the budget was in 2009, 2010. It's grown about $500,000, give or take, we're spending each year. And as I said, we did have the financial windfall or whatever from the water sewer availability fee and going up a nickel on the rate in 2008. I think 2 to 3 cent after close evaluation would be warranted. The other thing is, remember, every taxpayer in this room just got hit with a 3.5 cent tax increase with the new school here. So this would kind of make the tax increase a little bit more palatable for the citizens of Cramerton. And here again, if we run into a rough spot, we just have to go up on the taxes as needed, if needed. But we have $3.4 million in the general fund right now, but in November 2011, we had $4.4 million in the general fund. So we have spent the general fund down $1 million in the last year and a half. So obviously, if the town can do that, then we can offer the citizens a little tax relief. Thank you.
This is a question about the gateway to the community and what you think the gateway should be. And in that discussion, if you would talk about whether you favor the Veterans Memorial and how much money, if any, should be allocated toward that.
Well, obviously, with the bridge down, the gateway into Cramerton right now is Market Street. We can only hope that they finish that bridge sometime around on time, but I don't think it's going to be done in April. I hope it is, but I think it'd be more like June. But we can hope they brought in another beam today. So maybe they'll get them all in by the end of the next month or so. But as far as the gateway, I think that entrance on Lakewood Road will turn out to be the primary gateway when the bridge is open. But also our business gateway is Market Street, where we have the businesses and developmental land on 74. As far as, what was the rest of the question, Tim? I started talking to you. Oh, the Veterans Memorial, excuse me. That's what old age will do for you occasionally, the sales guy. But as far as the Veterans Memorial, I'm totally in favor of it. I think, as Ms. Carpenter said, over a 3, 4, 5 year period, we could come up with a reasonable amount of money to fund it. I don't know if 50,000 is the right amount, whether it's 40. I know we spent about 28,000 on the monument, so we should spend more than that on a Veterans Memorial. And I think we all honor the people that gave their lives or served this country to protect us, and that's something that isn't done enough. Thank you.
As a point of clarification, you referred to the monument. The public art piece, that was something that did not cost us $29,000. The ABC board, Commissioner Carpenter heads that up. They donated that piece, and we paid for the installation. I believe the installation ended up costing taxpayers about $14,000 for that public piece of art. We're very proud of it, and I hope you'll enjoy it as that landscaping and lighting gets finished up. I think it's going to be a really beautiful addition to what is one of our major gateways coming into town, Lakewood. It's going to be just amazing to come through and see our gorgeous state-of-the-art high school that we're enjoying tonight, that piece of art, and across from the piece of art will be our Veterans Memorial. I come from a military family. My father and grandfather were both career Army officers. My uncle fought valiantly as a Marine in Vietnam. That's quite all right. I don't see the humor in that comment, but I take memorializing our veterans very seriously. This is a town that enjoys its freedoms as much or more than any town in our area. We wouldn't have any of these freedoms were it not for those who've given their lives in the service of our country. It's hard to put a dollar figure on that, but that's why we have amazing volunteers in this town, like those on beautification. And Mrs. Carpenter has served very well in that role. We've had a number of folks that have been working diligently on looking at other towns, seeing what other memorials are out there, what would fit good in our space, what's appropriate given the number of people we want to memorialize. So I don't want to put a price tag on it. The town, as we said earlier, has already funded $10,000. There's already been private donations made. We'll continue to work towards that goal, but we have full faith in our beautification committee and coming up with great ideas for us.
I think the gateway right now is going to be Lakewood Road. It's going to be this school. It's going to be our artwork. And hopefully when the bridge gets done, and I think we're all excited about that, that's going to be a beautiful bridge. But right now, I think downtown, town center, where you can go down there, you can sit in the rocking chairs in the gazebo, you can go over to the restaurants and have lunch or dinner. You can watch the kayakers go up and down the stream. But I think right now it's town center. The Veterans Memorial. How do you put a price tag on a man that gave his life or served in the armed forces? How do you put a price tag on that? I don't think any of us can put a price tag on that. I think that we ought to take the donations, the $10,000 that Will's already said, and I think that we ought to try and advertise for more donations. But to put a price tag on somebody's life or somebody's service for our country, I don't think anybody in this room could do that.
Going back to the gateway, I do agree. A lot of you come in through Lakewood today. You've seen the artwork. You've seen the new school today. It is going to be our gateway entrance to Cramerton. But I also agree with Mr. Linker that our business gateway is Market Street, and it is going to continue to be that way over on Market Street. But let's remember, Lakewood eventually, with the bridge opening, it's going to be a huge gateway as people come into Cramerton, welcome them to Cramerton, and they experience Cramerton. Going on the Veterans Memorial, obviously I'd like to thank and honor them with the Veterans Memorial. I think there's options as far as public and private funding. My idea of the Veterans Memorial should be more of a Veterans Memorial Garden, something that we can look and use landscaping, whether it's trees or shrubbery, green, something that you can go there and not just see a rock or a marble statue, something that you can go and reflect and experience it, something that you can free flow through it. You want people to be able to go there and reflect. You want students from here at Stuart Cramerton across the street and go there and spend a few minutes and think and reflect and pray. I think that's something that we can look at. We can minimize, again, some of the costs instead of spending lots of money on these huge statues or granite or marble or whatever the material is. Find a way to use some of the natural beauty of our town through landscaping and make it a Veterans Memorial Garden.
Thank you, Demetri. It's hard not to drive up Lakewood Road and be impressed. I think the art is is a good addition to the town. But I think Kathy would agree with me, being a realtor, there's no place in town I'd be ashamed to drive somebody through. I think every street in our town is a good gateway to represent who we are as a people. I know when we were in the municipal academy together, Jerry Dellinger pointed out that Cramerton's the cleanest town he's ever been to. And I agree. Think about it. Next time you drive up to Market Street, look around and there's not a bit of trash anywhere. I think that's a testament to the pride that we have in our community and the people that serve our town. The Veterans Memorial, I think every town should honor its sons and daughters who have served our great country. And I'll give consideration to any group that wishes to present a fitting memorial to be placed on town property. It's very hard to overlook the contributions of the town of Cramerton has made as well. Mr. Kramer manufactured the famous 8.2 ounce Army khaki in 1929. Everybody in this town has made a contribution. I think it should be a town memorial.
As far as the gateway, I think really the outside public decides what your gateway into your town is. Years ago, you know, if you was going to describe Cramerton, you'd say where the golf course was. Since the new high school has replaced the old golf course, we're going to be known if you're telling somebody where Cramerton is or what it's near or something, you'll say it's where the new high school is. So that's going to designate us, I think, as our gateway. On the memorial, I think the $10,000, and if the town should donate the property and provide the property area for it to be erected, and I think that's a great start.
Thank you. Thanks for those responses. Okay, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to let each candidate, if you desire, ask another candidate a question, and then take 30 seconds to respond, and then if you want to follow up, you may do so. Okay, so we're going to start with you, Keith.
I think my question was for Mr. Linker on the end. I was familiar with a lot of things that everybody said tonight, but I didn't understand why it was costing us $600,000 to help take over the McAdam Fire Department. I didn't understand that.
Well, rather than belabor a lot of numbers, I have them. Yeah. Two major parts of the $600,000, we paid off a loan that Cramerton Fire Department had of about $249,000. Additionally, we had about $100,000 in court costs where Cramerton, town of Cramerton sued the old Cramerton Volunteer Fire Department. That was about $48,000. Additionally, we had to pay off the lawsuit or the settlement where we retained the firehouse. That was another $48,000. I can give you an itemized sheet of the 600 to 600 some
What does that have
thousand.
to do with McAdam? I don't understand that.
That was to take over the McAdenville Fire Department and merge the two fire departments together.
I thought the lawsuit with Cramerton was with their volunteer fire department. I didn't think that had anything to do with McAdam.
This is your chance.
Okay. I thought it was just a Cramerton problem, the fire department issue. I didn't realize. I was wanting to know what McAdam had to do with that.
15 seconds.
There would have been no merger between Cramerton and McAdenville without spending the monies we're talking about and redoing the firehouse.
Thank you. Question for somebody?
Tim, I don't have a specific question. I guess if I was going to try to make a joke, I'd ask all the candidates, what's up with all these signs? I've never seen so many candidates.
There's some green ones out there too, I think.
I have to go move mine from place to place, make it look like I've got a bun.
So is that a real question? Okay. Well, if it was, my thing is, I'm not an incumbent, I haven't run for political office in Cramerton, and I want all of you to know how to pronounce Kutsubius by the election. I really wasn't prepared for a question. I do have one for Mr. Linger. We kind of touched on this earlier. As far as town government involvement, what do you see your role as a town government? Is it just to pay the bills and keep the money in the lockbox? Or is it to provide for its citizens?
I definitely want to provide all the services to the citizens. I don't put all the money in a lockbox like Al Gore. But here again, I'm not for doing these progressive projects where we're spending money on $1.7 billion on town hall. All the money we're spending on Goat Island, I want to keep the cost to a minimum. I'm being told that Goat Island's making us money. I can't figure out how. So I guess we agree to disagree there. But I would want to build the town slowly, and I'm not interested in making it into another Charlotte or another Belmont, even though Belmont's very nice, or even a Mount Holly, because we're 4,200 people versus 15,000 versus 13,000. But yet, I would want to provide services to all people equally in Cramerton and not be spending money on a lot of pet projects like maybe $450,000 for a new ball field or 2 ball fields there in front of the school. Thank you.
Okay, well, real quick, I think the question was, how are we bringing people to our town? I think someone mentioned earlier about 1,000 kids that are involved in Parks and Rec. Obviously, they have parents or a guardian that's coming into our town to see them play. We have about 230 coaches, I think, that volunteer their time. We have a Goat Island project that, how many of y'all went through Town Center this past weekend and saw the wedding, or the chairs that were set up? Again, they also used the Goat Island facility. Are those people from Cramerton? I don't know. But I can probably say that some of those were not from Cramerton, and maybe have never heard of Cramerton or been to Cramerton. Those are the people that are coming in here and spending money at Giorgio's, at the tavern, at the salon. All these business owners, I'm sure they like to see the increased traffic. And with these amenities and facilities, we can continue to do that.
All right. I guess my question would be for Will. There's been a lot of talk about developing town center, and I want to know if you support development of town center.
Thank you, Jamie. I think I actually owe you money after this. Let me be real clear. I have heard so much when I've been out knocking on doors about a development in town center that this board has approved. Let me tell you something. That has never happened. There is no proposed development of town center. What has happened is a private developer who happens to be a resident of the town of Cramerton, who has wonderful experience building some amazing developments, came to the town. Again, private developer wanting to invest in our town, and he asked a simple question. He said, would you be willing, as an elected board, to listen to me if I invest my money in a plan, in architects, in engineering, to bring back to this board? Would you listen to what I have to say? I voted yes. That was a 3-2 vote. 2 people dissented and said, no, this town doesn't even want to listen to you. And I have a problem with that. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it.
So that means you do support building down there.
Giving the $10.
I support listening to anyone that is willing to invest in this town. The great thing about listening and finding out more information, at the end, I get to vote yes or no. But I am not going to say yes or no without more information. I don't make decisions easily or lightly when it affects our town. Originally, I salivated over the concept of being able to ask a question of one of the other candidates up here. But I'm actually going to take a pass. The hour's late. We promised you 8:30. I know there's other things y'all would probably rather be doing, but I do appreciate y'all being here, so I'll defer.
Since it is late, I'll take a pass too. I've already taken a few of my passes, but we can get on to the, I guess, the closing arguments, but closing statements.
We've already argued.
We're having too much fun. Okay, so it is, we did promise you that we would take your questions from the audience, and I've been looking at these questions. Some of these questions, quite frankly, they need to be answered, but not by this group. Some of these are questions that I think can be handled by the town manager. Some of them are just service-related issues and things like that. So what I'm going to ask the town manager to do is to take this list of questions and see if it's something that he can incorporate into the newsletter. Okay? I do have one here that if we can go really fast, what would you like to see develop on the 32 acres adjacent to the new high school? Anybody want to take a shot at that? Anybody know what this is about? Okay, well.
When the county originally bought this large plot of land, they had intended to break it up for multiple uses, obviously the primary being the high school. There was the potential for another section to be used for perhaps another school building. As we covered earlier, I would not be in favor of that. I think we need to settle in for a little while, find out how this affects our traffic, how we can deal best with the traffic that's being created both by the villages at South Fork as well as the new high school. But I would love to see an appropriate use of that, maybe some lighter retail, some lower density retail, something like that wouldn't generate a great deal more vehicular traffic.
Okay, so as a follow-up, then, and I'll ask everybody just a quick yes or no, like we did in the earlier.
You're talking about for the 32 acres?
Would you support another school?
Oh, no, not under any circumstances. I can't go in and out of Cramerton without passing a school, whether it's Cramerton Christian or the middle school or any others. I think Cramerton has given up enough usable property to the county school system without a doubt. Absolutely not.
We are blessed in Cramerton to have the excellent schools that we have, but traffic patterns, all schools go in about the same time, let out about the same time. So it's a nightmare trying to manage multiple schools in a very close physical proximity. So I would not be in favor of building it there. If someone wants to talk about a school somewhere else in Cramerton, again, it's something I would be opening to listen to.
I would say no, and two reasons. First off, I believe Gaston County said that they weren't going to build any more schools, and or anytime soon, should I say. And then second of all, where would you put it?
At this point, no. I think we should rally around, as a community, rally around this school that we're sitting in right here. When the time comes, that's something that we can discuss. I'm open to discussing with the Gaston County School Board, and of course with the Board of Commissioners, and as well as some of the surrounding municipalities, Mount Holly, McAdenville, Belmont. Maybe there's some options there. But again, at this point, no.
Would I support a new school in Cramerton? Absolutely, yes, under one condition. We replace Cramerton Elementary School. My kids went to that school, and I'm going to tell you what, it needs to be replaced. And if you look across our county, and I'm not on the school board, but there are some major things that we need to look forward on as far as capital expenditures there. This is the only new high school built in the state of North Carolina. With the current county council that we have right now, I don't see them approving much more as far as new construction for schools. But if you're going to build a new school in Cramerton, I'd say rebuild Cramerton Elementary School.
Where's Cramerton?
New Hope Elementary School. I'm from Cramerton, I'm proud of it. My wife's gonna kill me when we get home.
First off, I would probably say no, but I probably want to wait and see when the other two grades have been added here, and you've got